Okay, the highlights from GreatStockPicks.com today, live trading chat room, January 18th. AMSC, huge breakout today. I guess there's a lesson to be taught right here, is that, here's intraday. See this crazy move right off the bat. We didn't catch it, didn't see it, but the lesson here is that even if you get a crazy move in something early, in the past, I might have just looked at that and said, well, darn it, I missed it. But instead now, I'll put something like this on watch and see if it gives one of the setups that we teach for a possible secondary entry. And it did. I called, even though I missed the bulk of this crazy move, we still got a nice trade in this one. I called AMSC somewhere right in here at 515. Worst case stop right down here below this 504. And you can see from 515, this ends up closing at the high of the day, 555. That's a 40-cent move on a $5 stock. That's almost 10%. So even though we missed the early move, it doesn't mean, and this is a lesson in my opinion for everybody, doesn't mean you completely take it off your watch list. Okay, there's still a possible trade to be had. Another call I made today, this is thanks to Jane over in the UK. She spotted this, and this is another testament to trading in a chat room environment where everyone works like a team. And that's exactly what Jane did today. Agilent was very strong right off the bat and then did this grind lower. And Jane noticed that the letter A is a symbol. Jane noticed that Agilent was setting up for one of our entries we teach. And it gave an entry, I believe, right here at 40.39. Worst case stop, 18 cents below. So somewhere, I don't know, somewhere right about here below this recent trading. And from 40.39, as you can see, Agilent makes it all the way to 41.33. Almost a dollar move in our favor, excuse me, on 18 cents risk. And again, hats off to Jane. She's all the way over there in the UK and spotted this one for the group. So anyone in the world can help you help you make money in a trade if you're working together. So that was a great trade for a lot of us. What else did we trade today? CLNE made a call. I didn't catch the bulk of this move either, but then called it at 1403, somewhere in this area with a worst case stop. About a dime below, a little more than a dime, and it ends up closing at the high of the day, 1427. CLNE, it wasn't a big trade, but CLNE is starting to break out here. It looks pretty darn good on the daily chart. Let's see what else. PMCS. It did this crazy spike in the morning, not in the morning, in the afternoon. See this crazy 5-minute spike, and we just waited for the pullback and really called it right there at 640. And again, it almost made it to 650, 649. That doesn't seem like much, but the stop was only like 3 or 4 cents below. And this certainly isn't something to brag about, but there was so much volume here that you could have had almost as many as you wanted. And I did get a pretty sizable chunk of PMCS and sold into that pop there, but again, nothing to brag about. Carnival Cruise Lines, if you've been trading at all, you know about the cruise ship over off the coast of Italy. Just killed Carnival Cruise Lines yesterday. Then today it gapped up, and I noticed early on, I really didn't even have it on my watch list. I noticed early on, after it was above all of yesterday's trading, I noticed it was in a nice narrow range. I'm not a big fan of buying high of day breaks, but I said in the case of CCL here, 30.26 looks like a pretty good entry. And I think I had the stop at worst case 30.10. There's the trigger, and let's see the 5-minute candles. And you can see it went to from 30.26 to almost 30.60, and it held the 30.10 stop all day and ended up really just sideways the rest of the day. So, but because it was an early trade, we took the entry right here. And we're sellers into this pop. And CCL also had plenty of volume to sell into. So it was an easy trade. And I think that's it. That's the highlights from today. We had some others that worked okay, but not necessarily worth talking about here. And let me show you one example of something that didn't work today. DN, this one can really move. It had this crazy move off the open here. A lower high, then it takes out the lower high. I'll scroll over to show you exactly what it looked like. So now it's coming up, nice volume coming in, and it's near the early highs, okay? Put in its high like 10:15 this morning, 10:20 this morning, something like that. So because it was pushing up here, now these sellers came in. My thinking was if it takes out this candle's high, it's only a penny away from a new high of the day, and DN, as you know, if you've been trading, if it starts printing new highs, you can get a nice move, at least recently. Okay, so this was a call that I made at 14.19. Let me see if I can figure out where I had the stop. The stop may be a dime below this candle. I think, no, 13 cents below, 14.06. So there's an example. Let me zoom in now and show you what happened. The theory again, if it takes out this candle's high, then it's going to go through the high of the day. The high of the day was 14.19. The high of this candle, 14.18. And look at this. It hits 14.19. Never does print 14.20. And then goes down and stops out. So there's an example of one that, anything can happen. It's a great lesson in that. I mean, who would have thought this would take out the high of this spike and still not print 1 penny higher and take out the high of the day? So there was a failed idea from today as well. But overall, very, very nice day. Great teamwork to you. If any of our members are watching this, great teamwork. And we'll see you all tomorrow.